There's no question. I mean, when I go down the list, up and down the list with HBO, and who would be possible and who's not possible, it always seems to be, we'd fight them, but just not next. So that's why we're going to make a shirt, Triple G, just not next. So people don't want to say they don't want to fight them, but it's just hard to get them in the ring at that particular time.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Who wants to fight the monster from Kazakhstan? Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Now, I started off with that clip. I did that interview with Tom Loeffler, K2 Promotions, the representation for Triple G, a few months ago. And when he told me that, I listened. I listened to hear what people are saying. And it's starting to look more and more true that guys just really don't want to fight Gennady Golovkin. It's just so high of a risk and a low reward. And I'm just going through the list, and I'm like, man, it must really suck to be Triple G. Now, I keep it fair and consistent on my channel. I do think Triple G, if he wants to clean out the division of 160, I do feel he should have every right to. I don't feel we should have to rush him. Same thing with Guillermo Rigondeaux. He's in the same boat. The guys that would mean a damn at 122 simply don't want to fight him. Or they say they're down to fight him, but you don't really see no action. He's calling him out, calling Leo Santa Cruz out. They're talking about making Frampton and Quig. Frampton's fighting in Texas against some bum. Things like that. So it's like what people are saying and doing don't really support it. And Triple G, this is the thing. Triple G is calling out all these people. And I can't really call his bluff and say he doesn't want the fights, because each and every time it comes time to negotiate, it seems like the negotiations fall apart, and it's not really because of him. He says he wants to fight Miguel Cotto. So I could say, oh, he's lying, but it looks like Cotto's fighting Canelo. Canelo said he wasn't really impressed with the Willie Monroe performance, and he doesn't see any threats at 160, but instead of moving to 160, you're going to fight Cotto at a catchweight, most likely. You look at Carl Froch. Carl Froch is on the fence. Do I want to retire? I don't know. Then in an interview in that podcast video I did earlier, check that out, he said that Triple G's team wanted to fight at a catchweight of 164, and Tom Loeffler is responding saying, no, we don't. We said we would come up to super middleweight. And then it sounds like Eddie Hearn is corroborating the message from Team Triple G that we will fight at super middleweight. So it's like, man, who is this guy going to fight? Now, here's the other person. David Lemieux. I was like, that's a good fight. He doesn't have to move up to super middleweight. He don't have to move out of the division. And David Lemieux just fought for a vacant title. Looked good. Knocked down Hassan Indam 4 times, I think it was. Two times shy of what Quillin did. And he got a title. He's the IBF champion. So I was like, great. That's a great fight. Now, Oscar De La Hoya always preaches, and I have nothing against Oscar. I'm just keeping it real. He preaches like, oh, I'm doing it for the fans, and Canelo Kirkland's so much better than Mayweather Pacquiao, and he's a promoter. Of course, that's what you're going to promote, your investment, promote your brand, but it doesn't look like David Lemieux is trying to fight Triple G. Triple G's already said, I'll fight him too. Not now, not for future, but right now. And Oscar, he talks a good game about, yeah, oh, we can make this fight and we're doing it for the fans, but realistically, you're not, because what I've heard is David Lemieux is going to wait for the Toriano Johnson. Let me give you guys a little backstory. Toriano Johnson and a middleweight named Iman O'Kane, they're in negotiations to fight as an eliminator fight for a mandatory position for David Lemieux. So you mean to tell me Oscar and David Lemieux are willing to wait? So it's not like the fight's already set in stone and we just have to wait for an outcome. They haven't even discuss the purses and all the particulars, location. It's not even an official fight. But David Lemieux, instead of just fighting Triple G, who's ready now, he can make a fight now, you're willing to wait for your mandatory to be figured out and that fight to be made official before you make a move. And again, that's a business decision, because Golden Boy, that's one of the only remaining stars that they have. They have about Canelo, Lucas Matisse, and I would say David Lemieux as far as the big stars. Saddam Ali, but I don't think he's a great fighter. I don't think he has that star power just yet. You know what I mean? He had about 2 televised fights, and he doesn't have that big brand where they pumped a lot of money into him. A lot of people wouldn't recognize his face, things like that. So again, David Lemieux and Golden Boy, they're willing to wait to find out who their mandatory is after this fight happens that is not even official and not even finalized, instead of facing Triple G. So at this point, I can't really call Triple G's bluff. Now, guys like Rigondeaux, guys like Triple G, them and their teams, they have to decide, since we can't get what we want in our respective divisions, 122 and 160, and we're over 30 years old, what do we do next? Do we sit and wait around and fight a scrub and a guy who's just gonna like be a stay busy fight, an Adama, Willie Monroe, a guy who stylistically not really gonna provide the answers we need? Or do we move out of the division, take on tougher challenges like the guys that are willing to fight, maybe one of the Durrell brothers, Andre Ward, James DeGale, that kind of thing? So I'm starting to feel bad for Triple G and his team, because it's like people want to see him move to the next level. Like, to me, Triple G's at a plateau right now. I know how good I've seen him, but the only way he's going to get beyond that to the next level, it looks like he has all the power and the amateur background. He cut off the ring like a master. That's all there. But again, I still got to see it at the elite level. James DeGale was knocking out, I think he knocked out 6 of 8 of his last opponents before Andre Durrell. But then when he stepped up to the biggest fight of his career at that moment, which was Andre Durrell, a skilled fighter, an Olympian, etc., he hurt him twice, but he didn't knock him out. And that's what I need to see from Triple G. It's one thing to mow through B, C level guys or whatever, but a guy with some experience, a guy with some firepower, a guy with some, like, a chin and bigger and, you know what I mean, just the different attributes, that is going to prove how good Triple G is. So to me, I feel like Triple G is really stuck until he fights that level of opposition, somebody who's a little bit more proven. Then you got guys like Peter Quillin. I don't even know if he cares about boxing, just to be perfectly honest. I seen him, he posted on his social media that he's going to his acting class. He's going to be in the new Vinny Pazienza movie. So I really don't know if his main priority is even boxing right now. Andy Lee, I've seen him in some interviews. He didn't look like he was in a real rush to fight Triple G. He actually sound, and I hate to use this, but he actually sounded a bit scared to fight Triple G. Like, nah, I'll fight him, but I'll fight him if I have to type of attitude. He didn't sound like, oh yeah, easy work, I'll fight him. He sounded kind of uncertain. So, I mean, I'm just feeling bad right now for Gennady Golovkin. Yes, I too want to see him step up in competition, but a lot of the angles and avenues that they're clearly publicly pushing due to no fault of their own are being blocked. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.